Today, you might call this transformational training. Some people call it transitional training. Some people call it paradigm shifting. But as a manager today, success is a factor to, are you on the right paradigm? We see many situations where people are working hard, doing wrong things, and expecting to succeed. It's not how hard you work. It's not how long you have been doing something. It's whether you are doing the right thing. And this is introducing us to now what we call, first and foremost, the basis of all transformational training has to be understanding of clearly the fact that now we are in a knowledge-based economy. Gone were the days when economies or organizations will boom because they have right resources. Resource is not a factor now. Resources will flow to people with the right mind, with the right mindset and understanding the right mindset. And I would like to borrow from Drucker, the late Drucker. Drucker kept telling us one thing: whoever will create tomorrow will capture the day. I would also want to borrow a joke from Dennis Waitley, one of my best writers in this area. And in Mental Empires, he's talking of a joke where Japanese are joking about Americans, and they say, "We are not worried about Americans. We make for them big plasma TVs. As they are watching the TVs, we are conquering the world." So now success will be whoever creates knowledge, and knowledge that is relevant to commerce and competitive advantage in capturing tomorrow. And this is now giving us a whole new understanding of what now we call blue strategy. The world has been in a red strategy where we borrowed heavily from Porter and the Porter 5 analysis and all that. All this just led us to benchmarking to our competitors. And if at all your competitors and their policy frameworks and strategy paths are based on wrong understanding, then the whole industry collapses. Then again, you don't get to maximize because you just get to compete on price, benchmark on processes. Then you don't create knowledge. You don't become innovative and creative. Then you are stuck into a Red Sea. Now we have to move you fast into an open, wide blue ocean where everything is possible and you can maximize and get a lot from minimal resources. But you have to know what it takes. And what it takes will be, can you create and develop the right knowledge? Then transit to the right knowledge. What we have to understand also is, gone is the era of intelligence content as basis of everything and success. This is what we have to transit from. It's not, that alone is not enough. We need knowledge based on intelligence for performance, but it's not the key thing. You have to move beyond that. Now we have also to understand artificial intelligence is coming in, and whoever will tap into this and create digital platforms and more competitive arrangements based on knowledge will carry the day. But above that, again, the individuals and organizations have to be emotionally mature. Then again, we now have to go for emotional intelligence and transit to emotional intelligence and moral intelligence. And all this put together is maybe what will create an environment that will take us to the next level. So we have to transit. Over reliance on acquiring an entitlement as a result to intelligence alone is not enough. So we have to seek other intelligence and query situations so that we can move from the current Red Sea where we are competing, prices are dwindling, profit margins are dwindling, and customers are bored because we can't give them new things, because we can't think out of the box. The organization that will be there tomorrow will be organization that is operating on a blue strategy, which will be giving us value and doing things differently, but based on a point of understanding and clear knowledge developed on their own. We are not talking general knowledges. We are talking creating knowledges which are not there. If at all we are going to stick to Porter 5 and the RED strategy, we are just going to narrow ourselves and limit ourselves into taking advantage. Yet we could create a knowledge-based economy, and knowledge-based economy is giving us, is breaking all the barriers. It's breaking barrier of geography, it's breaking barrier of time, and we can conquer time, we can conquer geography, and we can conquer distance, and conquer and tap into markets which are unlimited, and that is what organizations need to understand. Then this is challenging. What kind of a leader is going to do this? It has to be a transformational leader. To transit the organization from the current status of understanding to the next. And this will be challenging. First, before this person becomes a leader, I would want to borrow from Sharma in his writing. And Sharma talked of leaders without title. I'm looking at a person who first, before even thinks of being a transformational leader, he must be a leader on his own. So first, what am I looking at? Is authentic, is creative, and he has mastered his stuff, and is confident, and is learning and changing all the time. When that comes in, then that leader now is confident enough to question paradigms, and then can be confident enough to be a transformational leader. So you can't without being your own leader. And this person must be somebody who is highly emotionally mature. What do I mean? He has done self-awareness around himself. He knows who he is, he knows his temperament, and he knows how he can work with others. Apparently today, a lot of problems organizations have at work, which goes with poor communication, poor decision making, poor bonding processes, is simply because people are not emotionally mature. So what do we see? We see people stuck at dependency levels. They don't believe in themselves, and they're competing a lot. That is, we see people at independent level. They don't mature enough to move to interdependence, where they can synergize and work together for greatness and excellence. And this leader who is going to be a transformational leader first must be a leader who is working at interdependence. I mean, he can synergize with other independent people to do a great thing. He's not suffering dependency syndrome. When we still have you at dependency syndrome, you can't believe in yourself, you can't believe in others. When you are at independent, you are competing. You don't believe in yourself, and you can't work with others who are great. We want you to be confident and great and work with others who are great. Then if you reach that level, you're almost being now a leader without a title. Once you become a leader without a title, then you can now dare to be a transformational leader. And then, what are we talking here? Any transformational leader, to transit the organization and transform, first is a visionary. He must be believing in a clear, he must be having a clear mental picture of what tomorrow is, and he must be a passionate believer in what tomorrow is. Then he has to communicate clearly what tomorrow is. So what am I looking at? A visionary who is an excellent communicator, who is passionate about his vision and is confident enough and knowledgeable enough and having capacities to lead. Once he reaches that level, then is also already emotionally confident enough to communicate things the way they are and believe in people and develop them. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at people, a person who believes in others, trusts others, and develops others, so that he becomes a cheerleader of leaders, so that he develops teams, and he believes in teams, and he mutually develops them and gives them chance. And then again, this is a person who will encourage excellence and believe in excellence and reward excellence. There's no way you can transform an organization without believing in excellence, so that people can question paradigms and move to higher levels of paradigm. But you have to encourage that. So what are we looking at? Somebody who can allow you to make your mistakes and learn, so that you can be ever learning, ever changing as you question paradigms to the paradigm that is going to take you to a blue strategy. So without that, we are not going anywhere. Then again, a transformational leader is ethically working for utilitarianism, common goodness for all. It's not working for self-interest. So it cannot be competing It's above competing. It's above independence. It's as interdependent. So with that, it's already at a higher level ethically. And with that, it already has high moral, ethical intelligence, above emotional intelligence. And when all this is put together, it also has to be smart in terms of digitally now. And that is when it can take you to the blue strategy. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at somebody who understands artificial intelligence and its impact in terms of information technology and digital platforms. So it has to be good in that. And above, again, fundamentally, it must be somebody who is intelligent in his staff. It must be technical. It must be having technical expertise in his staff so that he can give a supervision on what he's doing, so that he can create vision. There's no way he can create bigger mental pictures when he's not in his element, he's not knowledgeable about his staff. So he has to be good in his staff. And when all this is put together, he will take the people to higher level. Then he will create teams which are highly motivated, which are highly creative, which are ever learning, ever changing. And then attitudes to change will also be there because they believe in him. So there's no way you can do transformational move or transitional move without a leader, without title and a leader who is now transformational. And this is what organizations need today. And this has to be taken to another level where there are normally 3 to 4 1-week trainings which are done on transformational trainings, which are done to target this and should be done at all levels so that you end up with an organization that is strategically aware of the bigger goals and the new strategy. And above that, there has to be a strategy developed, inspired by the blue strategy concept, not inspired by the former Porter thinking or Porter analysis. Once we move from the Red Sea-based strategies and now bring awareness of every performer to the new blue strategy, and then make sure that they're emotionally mature so that they have right attitudes, so that they can willingly move to the next strategy. Then is when you'll have high level performance. And then again, you can now manage by agreement. Then the organization will be highly performing. This is important for any organization operating in a highly dynamic environment where profits are dwindling, strategies are becoming boring, customers are losing interest, and organizational survival is limited because of lower profit margins and lack of growth. Thank you.